iHeart, get ready. Fantasy football is here. Welcome to the Scout Fantasy Show. ScoutFantasy.com is home to the Fantasy Football World Championships and the best players in the world. Real money winners giving their secrets to help you win. Now exclusively on iHeart. This is the Scout Fantasy Show with your host, the one, the only, Dr. Roto.
Dr. Roto, get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. Big week 6 wasn't one of the greatest weeks for me, but we'll have to figure it out. Hopefully it was a better week for you. Let's start with the Sunday night game, and here's what you know about the NFL. Just when you think you know the NFL, you know what you realize? You know absolutely nothing. The 0-5 Giants go to Denver, and they play Denver on the road with their great pass rush, and they win 23-10. Who, in a million years, who would have thought of that? Nobody. I don't think anybody would have thought of that. Eli Manning throws the ball 19 times in the game. He barely has to work hard. Orleans Darkwa gets 117 yards rushing. I mean, the Giants haven't opened up a hole for a running lane all season. And here they are doing such a great job. Evan Engram is out of his mind, with 7 targets and 82 yards and a touchdown. And the Giants play really well. And they beat Denver. So here's my takeaway. I think the Giants are a little bit better than we've seen. And I think that they're going to be damaged with these injuries for sure, but they're going to get through and maybe win a few games. I think the team I'm more concerned about is Denver. I look at Trevor Siemian's numbers, and I know he's got 376 yards and a touchdown. I get that. But ask yourself this one question. Do you think the Denver Broncos are winning a Super Bowl with Trevor Siemian? I just don't see it. Now, you could have said the same thing. Well, do you think the Ravens would have won a Super Bowl with Trent Dilfer? Trent Dilfer was a very smart quarterback. He was a brilliant quarterback. Was he the greatest player? No, but he was good enough with that defense to get it done. I don't think Trevor Siemian is. And I think the Broncos have blown this, and they had no running game to speak of. C.J. Anderson, 17 yards. Jamal Charles, 19 yards. Who could have predicted that? Demaryius Thomas goes off and gets 10 receptions for 133 yards against Janoris Jenkins. And Emmanuel Sanders goes 5 for 76 before he gets carted off with an injury. If he's out for any length of the time, you got to be looking at Benny Fowler. Benny Fowler and Jordan Taylor become way more interesting than they were prior to the game starting. Okay, San Francisco against Washington. I got to give them some credit to Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers. This is a team who has been in every game this year. They've been in every game. They just can't seem to get it done. And I think that he did something that was very shrewd, Shanahan, in benching Brian Hoyer. You're not winning with Brian Hoyer. Okay, this guy was a placeholder for the next guy. And the next guy is hopefully Kirk Cousins. But they drafted C.J. Beathard out of Iowa, and they want to see what this kid can do. If he's good, maybe you don't have to spend on Cousins. If he's not good, then you go out in next year's draft or in free agency and you sign a quarterback. C.J. Beathard went 19 for 36, 245 yards and a touchdown. I thought he looked pretty good. I had no problem with what I saw. Carlos Hyde, 13 carries, 28 yards, but he did have those 2 touchdowns, but 13 for 28 is 2.2. That's not good enough. Matt Breida really did exist. And, Pierre Garçon didn't do anything, but I'll tell you this. There was a play at the end of the game that tells me everything I need to know about Carlos Hyde and why he will be cut or traded soon. It was a play at the end of the game where Hyde did not reach out and catch the ball. It was close to him, but he didn't give 100% effort. And Kyle Shanahan jumped up and down on the sideline, and he must have seen what I saw. He saw a guy that just isn't willing to put his body on the line. Now, the 49ers are not a very good team, but you have to be willing to give all of yourself. Otherwise, there's no room for you in the NFL. Carlos Hyde will not be on this team in 2018. Book it, 100%. Okay, the Washington Redskins, Kirk Cousins had a very good day. Kudos to Fuego Steve Hillman for calling this one. 25 for 37, 330 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown. Chris Thompson didn't do much. P. Ryan didn't do much. But I'm very concerned right now with Terrell Pryor and Jamison Crowder. I can't watch this Jamison Crowder anymore. And I am about 1 inch from cutting him. I'm in a 12-team league, and I think he's borderline cuttable. Now, I know the minute I cut him, somebody will pick him up and he'll be really good. But I don't know what to do. I can't watch this dude anymore. It is very hard to watch. Chris Thompson, though, 105 yards receiving. I mean, this guy's a must start every week. And if you drafted him, good for you. You were smarter than I was. Okay, the Bears and the Ravens. So I'm going to go on record with this. John Fox must get fired. Must. I know they won the game. So Dr. Roto, what are you talking about? Are you crazy? Why does this guy need to get fired? Jordan Howard had 36 carries. 36 carries. That is an obscene number. Okay? It's an obscene number. You can't do that to a guy. You're going to run him to the ground. And that's not what you're looking for. It's just not. I know you won the game, but at what cost? Do you really want to cut this guy's career? And Tariq Cohen gets 14 carries. Can they not open a hole for him? And how about just throwing him the ball? Seriously, how about just throwing him a pass? Why did they stop throwing him the football? I mean, Kendall Wright had 3 targets. They barely throw the football, this team. This team has so many issues. Mitch Trubisky is not one of them. Jordan Howard's not one of them. Defense is not one of them. You know what? Martavis Bryant would look pretty good in a Bear uniform right now. I don't know what the Bears would have to do, but it might be worth it. For Baltimore, oh my God, Joe Flacco, I don't know why I even thought he'd be good before the year started. He's terrible. He's terrible. But what's his face? Brashad Perriman got whacked. You'll be lucky to see this guy in a week or two. He got nailed. So take a look at Michael Campanaro, take a look at Chris Moore, take a look at Mike Wallace. But I just hate this team. And Max Williams, oh my God, this guy who was supposed to be such a good receiver and this tight end, every time he plays, he gets hurt. Seriously, every time he plays, he gets hurt. Just a walking train wreck. Okay, speaking of train wrecks, I'm going to take the heat. I was very wrong about Kevin Hogan. He was disgusting. He was disgusting. But I don't think Cleveland did anything to really help him. But I guess I'd rather see Deshaun Kaiser than Hogan, and the Hogan experiment just wasn't good enough. To be quite honest with you, I'd rather see Cody Kessler. I really would. I'd rather see Cody Kessler. I think there was something there. I don't think Cody Kessler was the reason that the Browns didn't win last year. There were plenty of other reasons. Isaiah Crowell still can't get off and do anything. Duke Johnson was fair, not really very good. 3 receptions, -1 yard. But let's put a lot of blame on Hogan. He was disgusting. For Houston, I really had a lot of high hopes for Houston, but they didn't need to do anything. And I guess retrospectively, I should have faded them. Watson was good, but not great. DeAndre Hopkins had 2 catches for 19 yards and a touchdown. Griffin, 3 catches. They didn't even have to do anything. They were winning this game by so much, they just put it into overdrive. So that's a problem for fantasy owners. Here's another problem for fantasy owners. Devonta Freeman with 9 carries. Are you kidding me? Seriously. The NFL is won by its stars. Superstars win games. That you don't give the ball to Devonta Freeman more than 9 times, shame on you. Seriously, shame on you. I mean, Julio Jones, 7 targets. Austin Hooper with 9. Taylor Gabriel with 8. Why are you not going to Julio Jones 15 times? I mean, Steve Sarkisian got fired, you dude. I mean, this is just bad. This is what the Bengals are doing. You go with your horses. You give it to Freeman, you give it to Jones. Freeman, Jones, Freeman, Jones, Freeman, Jones, Freeman, Jones. That's what you do. John Fox is an idiot, but he knows to give the ball to his best player. He just gives it to him too much. For Miami, it all starts and ends with Jay Ajayi. Now, 26 carries, Ajayi needs those carries, and the Dolphins are actually better when he gets 25 carries. So, as opposed to John Fox, who I think is running Jordan Howard into the ground, I think Jay Ajayi needs 20 carries a week to be good. And Miami won a game that I never thought they'd win. So, congratulations to them. Really, congratulations to them. Man, if you had the over in the Saints-Lions game, you're pretty happy there. This is some crazy, crazy game. Matthew Stafford, we gave you him on scouttfs.com. We gave you Marvin Jones. We gave you Golden Tate. I just wish they stopped throwing the ball so much to Theo Riddick. Seriously, give me more Marvin Jones. Give me more Golden Tate. Give me more TJ Jones. Give me more Eric Ebron. Stop with the Riddick. I can't watch it anymore. But Stafford played very well. Drew Brees didn't have to do a thing. And Michael Thomas, if you had him, what a major disappointment. This was the Mark Ingram and Alvin Kamara show. Boom, 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 thunder and lightning, whatever you want to call it. They were sensational this week. Drew Brees only goes for 186 yards. You'd think he could have had like 7,000 yards, but at 31-10 at halftime, he just kind of like, whatever, they're just trying to get through the game. Of course, I lost one game by about 5 points, and if Drew Brees had just given me, his usual 250 yards, I win the game. So I don't want to be angry at Drew Brees, but he cost me a big victory there. Green Bay and Minnesota. Look, I mean, Aaron Rodgers, the Packers have no offensive line. You have arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, and you can't protect him? I mean, seriously, you have to do better. You have to do better. He's most likely gone for the year, and that's a big shame. Do I like Brett Hundley? Yeah, I do like Brett Hundley. He was a very good college quarterback. Let me see if I can find you some numbers here. I mean, he was much better than people give him credit for. So let's see. The problem with Brett Hundley was I think he actually got worse. He was a running quarterback. His first year, he threw for 29 touchdowns, right, at UCLA, 3,700 yards. Then he actually threw for fewer yards and ran for more. But maybe that was because UCLA, he was running for his life. But look, if Brett Hundley could be Jacoby Brissett, I think the Packers would be just fine with that. But you need a healthy Jordy Nelson. You need the offense to get involved, and you need time for him to throw. But I think Hundley may help them because he can run. He needs to practice. He needs the reps. I don't know how I feel about Hundley right away, but I think give Hundley a couple of games, I think he'll be okay. On the other side of the football here, Teddy Bridgewater is going to be allowed to practice, but Case Keenan's done a pretty good job. Jerick McKinnon looked really good. Looked very good, Jerick McKinnon. He was an excellent play. You played McKinnon and Mark Ingram. You were definitely winning in fantasy and DFS. And Adam Thielen is a must start. I mean, how good is that guy? He's an absolute must start. Jets and the Patriots, I don't even want to go into that whole thing with Austin Seferian-Jenkins. I don't know how you overturn that play. I thought it was a touchdown. I thought it was a touchdown. Josh McCown has just been simply terrific. I give him all the credit in the world. He has kept the Jets in games. He's made them interesting. And Jermaine Kearse and Robbie Anderson and Seferian-Jenkins and Curley, they've done a good job. I just am so done with Matt Forte. I want Bilal Powell. I want Elijah McGuire. I don't want Matt Forte. For New England, they win a game that you would think that they could have lost. They were losing this game. It was tied at halftime, but they were losing this game. Brandon Cooks was respectable. Hard to stop the Gronk, for the Jets. The Jets couldn't stop him. And Mike Gillislee, he fumbled, and then Bill Belichick's like, you're out. But Deion Lewis, man, if he's out there in your league, you better pick this guy up. This guy has been absolutely very good, and he's a guy that Bill Belichick is leaning on. So when I did my podcast with Fuego Steve on Friday on scoutdfs.com, we talked about Adrian Peterson, and I said the following. I said that Carson Palmer was going to throw fewer passes because of Peterson. Now, Fuego disagreed. I will have to give Fuego some credit because he did call the Saints defense. Good on Fuego. But I knew that Peterson was going to get the football. And he's going to get the football, and Bruce Arians doesn't want Palmer to throw 87 times a game. He wants him to throw 35 to 40. He only threw it 22 times for 283 yards and 3 touchdowns. He didn't have to because Peterson was out of his mind. So if Peterson, whoever spent $400 on Peterson, looked pretty good right now. And Larry Fitzgerald was absolutely amazing. 11 targets, 10 catches, 138 yards, and a touchdown. So if you had McKinnon, Larry Fitzgerald, and Mark Ingram, you might be my rich friend today. I was very off on Mike Evans, but, he had a big catch there at the end of the game, so he got his touchdown. But Patrick Peterson did cover him for most of the game. And Cameron Brate, the Harvard to Harvard connection there, Fitzpatrick to Brate. How many times in your life you'll ever see that? Pretty amazing. Jameis Winston, I do think will be back next week, but he cost me a lot in the league. I put up 155 points with Jameis Winston. Could you imagine if Winston was there? Could have put up 200. But Fitzpatrick he's that perfect backup quarterback because he can keep you in games and do a lot of good things. And he did. He played very well. Doug Martin did a good job, better than I thought he would do. The Bucs just didn't play enough defense, and you can't fall behind by that much and expect to win. It's just not going to happen. The Rams against the Jaguars, I think this was another trap game for people. People were looking at the Jaguars thinking they were so great 2 weeks ago, but the Rams come in and beat them. Todd Gurley, 116 yards. Sammy Watkins does nothing. Robert Woods looked very good again. Cooper Kupp really didn't do anything. But the Rams defense looked pretty good. And Leonard Fournette's injury hurt. Leonard Fournette had a 75-yard touchdown run. And then it just seemed like he never got his bearings after that. And look, I just despise Blake Bortles. He got sacked 5 times. The Rams defense played very well, and that's why they won this game. The Rams are an inventive, clever team, and they will not be outcoached. The Rams may be outplayed, but they will never be outcoached. I feel very strongly about that. I also feel very strongly about Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, 83 yards and a touchdown rushing, and then 9 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown receiving. How good has this guy been this year? Hunter Henry, 5 catches, 90 yards, but I didn't think this was a Keenan Allen week. I didn't think this was a Tyrell Williams week. I didn't think this was a Mike Williams week. This was a Gordon week, and Gordon played very well. For Oakland, Derek Carr is not a fantasy number one. He just isn't. So anybody who thought he was, this guy's a backup. 21 for 30, 171 yards and a touchdown. It's not good enough. Their best offensive player is Cordell Patterson. He's their most exciting guy. So I think the Raiders are in big trouble. They thought they could win with smash mouth football, and they're getting smashed in the mouth. Speaking of getting smashed in the mouth, I've got to give all the credit to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They won that game on time of possession, 36 minutes. It seemed like when you watched the game, Kansas City never had the football. Kareem Hunt, 9 carries. If he didn't get some catches at the end of the game, he would have done nothing. Kelsey, 4 catches. He didn't have a reception going into the fourth quarter. Tyreek Hill didn't do anything because they weren't on the field. This was Le'Veon Bell, 32 carries, 179 yards and a touchdown. This was Antonio Brown. This was Juju Smith-Schuster. This was Ben Roethlisberger eating away that clock. Tick, 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 tick. And the Steelers winning a really good football game. They played a great football game. Kansas City did not. Kudos to Todd Haley. Kudos to Mike Tomlin. Kudos to Ben Roethlisberger. Martavis Bryant once out. That's fine. Adios. Juju Smith-Schuster is fine. You can go with Eli Rogers. You don't need Martavis Bryant. I would trade him to the Chicago Bears for a 3rd-round pick. There. Done. Easy peasy. All right, let's look at tonight's game. I think tonight's game is predicated on Marcus Mariota, who's expected to play. If Mariota plays, you can expect a very heavy dose of DeMarco Murray and Derrick Henry. They're going to see a lot of the football. But to win this game, they're going to have to throw the ball just enough. Rashard Matthews should have a good game. I like Eric Decker. I love Delaney Walker this week. I love him. I even love Jonnu Smith. If he finds the end zone, I would not be shocked in the least. For Indianapolis, start T.Y. Hilton. I'm loving T.Y. Hilton this week. I really like Marlon Mack this week. I'm very interested to see how Marlon Mack does, and I'm very interested to see how Jack Doyle does. Marlon Mack deserved more carries last week. He ran the ball beautifully, really did. He ran the ball beautifully. So it'll be interesting to see how Chuck Pagano uses him. Will he give him the 12 to 15 carries? Will he give him 8 to 10? This guy needs 12 to 15 carries. He is that good. Okay, speaking of good, ScoutDFS.com was really good. We did an excellent job this week once again. Very proud of our product, proud of our optimizer, our plays, our picks. Sensational job, guys. Please check out the site if you're not there. If you want to win in DFS, it's a great place to do it. Also, check out ScoutFantasy.com and enter the promo code Roto2017. Get half off your first month. Be involved in the premium message boards. Check out our articles, the podcasts, all the things that you will need to win a fantasy football championship. But right now it's time to put away the insurance cards, put away the copay. The office is closed, my friends. Back tomorrow. We'll mine the box scores for Fantasy Gold. Enjoy the game tonight. If you need to win, I hope you get it. Be well. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Scout Fantasy Show. There's never been a better time to join the Scout Army. Visit scoutfantasy.com. Use the promo ROTO for 2 months free. And don't forget, fantasy players, please thumbs up the podcast on the iHeart app. See you next time. Go Scouts!